a few days ago, Wolfman Pai did an interview talking about this Chinese proverb, which means to take off your pants too far. So she said that in Mandarin. So today I'm going to be talking how you pronounce in Cantonese. So it should sound like 脱褲子放屁. So 脱 means to take off, 褲子 means pants, 放 means release, and 屁 means far. So when we say far or releasing gas, we usually just say 放屁 together. So this whole thing is talking about do something unnecessary or make a test much more complicated or worse. And that is because whether you take off your pants or not, your fire is still going to end up diffusing across the room. So it's unnecessary for you to take off your pants. And another thing is that though, if you wanted to fire but you end up became something else, you could become quite messy if you took off your pants. So don't do something very unnecessary, or else you could get worse. So that's how what this means. But in Cantonese, we usually don't use this because this is much more a written word. But in a local conversation, we will usually just say 多余. So 多 means more and 余 means that remain or extra. So when you combine them together, in addition to unnecessary, you can also mean surplus or redundant. However, it lacks the meaning of a test being much more complicated or worse. And if you want to be a more local, you could say 多嚿魚. So 魚 is different than this 魚 because it's much more like homophonic. I'm not exactly sure how you came upon this term like that, but basically you also add a 嚿, which means to emphasizing that this is really unnecessary. And if you want to shift the tone a little bit, it actually sounds very similar to 嚿, which is much more like a word that is much more, not good. But anyway, nowadays, if you want to say something very unnecessary, you would say 多嚿魚. So anyway, regardless of which term you want to say, the written version is always be 脱褲子放屁, or in Cantonese, we often say 除褲放屁 or something like that, but we don't really say that, and I'm not really sure many people understand. So next time when you want to say it's unnecessary, before the meaning of the text being worse, you can say 多餘. A much more local version would be 多嚿魚.